here that first, in order to get to the HOSC, you have to user authenticate yourself. There's levels of security at remote sites that require you to be authenticated as a user. First at that site, you have to be around a card keyed access area. There's all sorts of security requirements, so much so that no one operator can be plugged into ISS for more than 8 hours because no one can work for more than 8 hours. So we have a lot of security controls that'll stop someone from doing that. Plus, the payload systems are not inherently touching critical systems right now. Does that better help you? Okay. Vince?
So it's Vince Cerf. I'm really pleased to see that Boeing has stepped up to the plate to look at DTN for practical applications. I wonder if you could say anything about the rest of the aerospace industry, whether or not they seem to be aware of the utility of these kinds of protocols. And if the answer is no, of course, I'd like to try to do something about it. But what is your sense of the rest of the aerospace industry and the people who make spacecraft about their awareness of this, the potential for these protocols?
So I don't want to say the answer is no, but unfortunately from my sphere where I work, I do not have a greater awareness of what NASA as a global headquarters is doing with DTN. Maybe there's somebody else here that works at JPL or somewhere else that may be able to answer that a little better for you. I do have a representative at Johnson Space Center. You may have met him, as Adam Schlesinger. He represents Johnson Space Center for the Advanced Exploration Space Contract, AES, and he might be a better representative to answer that question. So I'd be happy to forward that to him if you'd like. Are there any other questions? All right. Oh, Suzanne has.
I was just going to add something to that answer. I'm sorry.
I forgot that I actually did have a question. I know that the change request to switch over to DTN for flight operations has been approved, but do you know the specific go-live date for that?
Yes. So we are leveraging other projects that are going on right now. And the primary project that we're going to be implementing DTN over is our forward and return Ethernet links over the KU band system for the payload community. And that is looking at a February 2015 timeframe. So it would be sometime after that point. And of course, we need to be able to develop the packages prior to that to allow payloads to develop and be able to come online sometime after that. But this is strictly for payload community right now for DTN. And there are some ops users that will, I don't want to say strictly for payload, but there are some ops users that will be using this for file uplink, downlink as well. But it's more on the order of crew procedures, crew email, that type of stuff, pictures. It's not critical ops data. So Suzanne has a couple words from what Mr. Cerf asked.
Yes, I was just going to say, we've been working with the DTN working group that Adrian Hook initiated with Scott Burley and Jay Wyatt and some of the other JPL folks. And through that, as well as Adam Schlesinger with AES, we have been participating at NASA. We've done some of our own independent IRAD research, which we've coordinated with Adam and, I'm sorry, the other names elude me right now, but from Lockheed Martin and some of the other contracts that they have over at JSC, where they've done some of the video demonstrations with JPL, I believe. And so they've, we've actually integrated.
I think you're thinking of Vern Hall, who's taken on some of the responsibilities from Adrian Hook.
Right, and it may be, right. And then there's some other areas that even within Boeing that we've been looking at, some of our research that we've done has not just been limited to ISS. We've also looked at some space wire capabilities. We've reached out to our satellite systems in El Segundo, as well as some of our other partners with AFRL. And so, I mean, it's not just the space station. Now that we have the CR and they see that we're actually doing something and there's security work going on, it's really taken off like wildfire. We're looking forward to continuing that.
And you had said to replace systems. I'd like to just add that DTN is meant to be an augmentation. It's meant to be a new capability to allow payloads to get onto the ISS faster. We're not going to inhibit other payloads from developing their own protocols if they should choose to do custom protocols. That might be in their own design cycle, or it might be the way they do things. So this is meant to augment the station, give it more capability, make it easier to get there. So, are there any other questions?